So should I start? Assalamu alaikum ji. My name is Akash Arshad. I'm the lecturer of Media and Communication Studies from KFUEIT University of Engineering and Information Technology in Jakarta. I would like to welcome you all in this first very international webinar on STEM education and women empowerment and the role of English language in the women empowerment. I would like to welcome you all with the Vice Chancellor of KFUEIT University of Engineering and Information Technology, Professor Dr. Sulaiman Tahir, and the Director Institute of Humanities and Arts, Dr. Samina Sarwat Saiba. I welcome all our worthy guests. First of all, I would like to welcome Javeria Bint Fahim, our first guest speaker. Am I audible to everyone? काइंडली अगर किसी का माइक है तो वो जरा म्यूट कर दे ताकि ये हो सके. Engineer Javeria Bint Fahim got her bachelor's with gold medal from University of Gujarat. Her master's degree is from Budapest University of Technology and Economics, which is in Europe's first technical institute. She participated in Irish project of decarbonization through a hydrogen-based storage for grid stability. She also contributed to Hungarian project for gauging demand response of renewable integration. Currently, she is working as a photovoltaic solution manager at Huawei. Her responsibilities revolve around the managing development and sales inverters for solar applications. As this international webinar is related to the STEM education and the women empowerment, and particularly to the role of English language in the women empowerment. So before inviting our worthy guests to shed light on this topic and to share with their worthy experiences with us and with the rest of the audience, I just wanted to share a quote with you people that is related to the women empowerment. I was reading some article and I just go through a quote by Michelle Obama, ex-First Lady of the United States of America. She said, there is no limit what a woman can accomplish. This is a very small statement, but a lot for the women empowerment. So in our university, KFUEIT University of Engineering and Information Technology, our worthy Vice Chancellor provide equal opportunities to all the women, or even we provide 100% scholarships, not only for the women, but also the for the women students which studies in the engineering programs. I would like to invite our first chief guest speaker, Javeria Bint Fahim, to shed light on this topic, STEM education and women empowerment. Ma'am, are you audible? आप मुझे सुन सकते हैं?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Mic is over to you, Ji. You can start.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you give me the control, or you will do the slide transitions? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please start.
Okay, thanks. So I am Javeria Bint Fahim, and I'm currently serving as a photovoltaic solution manager here. I have my master's from Budapest University of Technology and Economics, which is also in Hungary. And I would like to speak about the topic, which I have not seen as a theoretical aspect, but I have lived most of it. So I will take you all through the transitions which women face while trying to be in STEM, trying to establish their STEM careers, is to study regarding that. And I would also like to bring attention to all male attendees of this occasion that don't consider yourselves leftovers, because the conclusions I would like to discuss with you is equally beneficial for all of the young generation, irrespective, regardless of the age or gender. So therefore, I hope that everyone will get some takeaways from this session. So please, let's start the slideshow. Will you do this, or will I do this?
Yes, please. We're hearing.
Yeah, can you start this
Yes,
slideshow, please?
you are audible to me. You are audible.
Yeah, can you start this slideshow?
Oh.
Yeah, but I'm asking you the question that will you be able to transition between the slides, or am I supposed to do? Oh yeah, okay, thank you. Now I can see that. So the agenda of today's discussion is that women in STEM. We will talk about why there is a very few representation. It is I will show you some statistics, but I think all of the attendees already know that there is a very few fraction of women in STEM, and I would like to discuss more deeply about the factors, and also I will give some insights on how to reduce the effects, both psychological, economical, social, and all everything which adds up together towards the gender rise and keeps women at the back foot while it comes to the study regarding the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So if we go further to the slide next, please, then we will see that only a major fraction of women which participate in STEM related fields is biological sciences, which you can also imagine also, because if you think about the class of biology, you can easily imagine a lot of girls sitting there. But if you think about the class regarding engineering or mathematics, then you won't see or imagine a major portion of girls attending that class. So I would like to discuss why this bias comes and how it is it related to the neurological function, biological functions of the male or female, or is it related to the society? So if we go further, we could see that in the science, only a major portion of women, which is 46%, participate in biological sciences. Only 38% participate in chemistry. And in the technology and engineering, only 16 to 18% of the women, of the participants or the students who study these subjects academically are female. And this is no surprise, because it is equally observed all across the world. So it is not only in Pakistan. I did my bachelor's study from Pakistan, and we were only 8 female students in the class of 80. And when I came to master's study in Europe, still my classmates in engineering were mostly male. And still in this society, in European society, which they call themselves as a modern society, and many people asked me why I chose less female friendly field. And still in my job interviews, I have been frequently asked what are my 5 to 10 years career plans. And it is a common question which every interviewee has to answer. But because I am a female, they add another pointer to this, that what is your personal plan and how it will be in coherence with your academic career, with your professional career. And do you see yourself working in 5 to 10 years, or do you see yourself serving your family? But I think that serving the family is an equal duty for both male and female. And it is it is very evident in European culture because both of the spouses usually work, but it's still, even in European job interviews, they ask you that what are your family plannings? When will you expect children, and when will you expect marriage, and what are the goals, and why should they, as a company, as an employer, invest in you, so that in how many years will they give the return back. So these kind of questions, if they are being asked in 2022, it means that we are still not ready to welcome women in the workforce, and specifically the workforce which is related to science, technology, engineering, and STEM. But I think that the major problem stems from the childhood, from the programming or the coding we do with our children as a society. I will give you an example of look at the toy stores near your house, and go to the boys section and the girls section. They have marketed the toys according to the gender bias, and most of the toys which belong to girls are either colorful, either playful, but they do not have any major engines, machine kind of structures, wheels, chains, or any kind of building structures which will give a female children understanding of how really things work on a mechanical level. But in the boys section, you can easily see cars, anything which could be, which could have engine, anything which could have physics related phenomena. So from there, we start programming our children. And also as a society, when a girl decides to take maths related classes or courses more often, or she decides to go into engineering career, no matter how liberal, open-minded, or economically well-to-do family it is widely seen in most of the households that they question her priorities, not in a way the question, but they ask her, are you confident enough? So always there is a question, are you confident enough that you want to go in this field? No matter what argument or what supportive argument or factors they provide, still these kind of questions make women question their confidence, that are they capable of learning these fields which are male dominated and which are mostly associated as masculine, which I don't think that could be characterized as masculine any study, because neurologically our brains are similar, and the logical portion of the male and female brain is also similar. So definitely it's not about nature, it's about nurture. We are not nurturing our female and male children equally, and therefore we are not giving confidence to our female children to go towards the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics as confidently as boys do. Boys always think higher of themselves, and they, whenever a girl is sitting in a mathematics or engineering class, she thinks that she has to work very hard in order to achieve some good results. However, boys don't feel that pressure. And this kind of research is done all across the world. It's not about the South Asian society, it's about also the Western society. And the same kind of pressures are being put on the female children, and then they consider themselves less in terms of logical explanation or wherever the science or logic comes, which is very contradictory to what we have as what we have inside us, as we are a biological design, and it doesn't interfere with any of our, like our emotional intelligence does not interfere with any of our logical logical reasoning part of the brain. However, it is a sad reality that still the girl sitting in the math class is highly pressurized. And interestingly, there was another study that most of the time, if there is a math teacher which is female, then in that class, uh, she will create a math anxiety which the female students can just feel. So it is more about the vibes and the energy, and they did this research that if they, even if there is a female class teacher which is conducting a math lecture, still there will be anxiety among female students because they think they could not think of that teacher as highly confident. They cannot see her in her full confidence, and therefore they also question themselves that maybe if the teacher as a female is not able to confidently put together herself in the lectures, then maybe we are not also worth spending time in the mathematics field. So these are all the indicators which comes from the classroom, from the environment, from the society which we are creating, and how these are the real obstacles, the real world obstacles for the female to go into the STEM related field. However, if I talk about the economic pressure, I don't think that economic pressure is a negative indicator in this. So here and today I would like to bring this point of view that today in the time in which we are currently living is the best time for female and also young males to start a career in the STEM. And why? Because of course, because there is a disruption in technology, world is going digital, there are more and more opportunities to transform the world even by sitting at your home by using a laptop, through coding, through programming, and by this decentralized mode of working which has been acceptable all across the world because of the COVID. I think this is the best time to learn these skills and to figure out your passion and step into the STEM field. You don't have to belong to a particular geographical location in order to participate in the biggest project of the world. You can do it by sitting at your home, but the only thing which will start this process is asking a question to yourself, that where the world is going and where I want to go, and find that crossroad, that cross point, and start working on this. So I saw that the world is going, there is the climate change crisis. Pakistan has currently seen the very significant negative impacts of climate change, and now the world cannot deny it because we are seeing it. It's not in future, it's in present. But when I was studying, it was somewhat in future, and I saw myself working in the field of sustainability, working for renewables, and that was my passion, and I saw the world going also in that way. So I did not question myself that is my gender okay for this field? No, because females are designed to always make sustainable choices. As a female, we always naturally make sustainable choices, because that's how we are designed. So for world, maybe this is a new concept, but for female, it's inside us. So I took part in sustainability, energy related, all the fields courses. I looked upon the opportunities, which kind of opportunities I am seeing in the world, where in the world these opportunities will arise, and then I positioned myself accordingly, strategically at that cross crossword crossways. So I pick up sustainability, then I pick up the point where I want to work, which was Europe, because Europe is currently, as you could also see from the war crisis, that is short of these green resources, and therefore here in Europe the decarbonization campaign is at its peak, and renewable and sustainable technology needs to be integrated as soon as possible. Therefore, they are more than serious to go towards this transition. And I am fortunate enough that I came here at that time and started working in this field, which will grow as I will grow, because I am connected to the cause, which is now the cause of a very big nations. So this is not only the one cause which is emerging these days. These days, there is a plenty of opportunities. Just look around. World is going very artificial. So first, there was a problem when you appear into the job interview, they judge you by your gender and stuff. But now, as you might also have seen that influencers are virtual. Many in the world, they have launched many great influencers which are virtual, which means that they are not human beings. They are artificially created anime based characters, and they have social media accounts, and they put stories, they put posts, they put blog and vlogs as human beings do, in order to entertain or influence people. So now, if human brains are okay with following no one which really exists in the reality, to follow somebody who is virtual, then why they cannot follow a female? So that's why now is the time, because on a very large scale, we are being programmed through social media, so through these accounts which put filters and wheels in, and hide our identity in a way that we don't have to present ourselves fully to the world, and we just need to present our ideas, our work, our passions, our opinions, and therefore people are okay with it. And now I think now is the time to defy this concept that I will not be acceptable in this field only because of my gender or the way I look. No, because now people are more concerned with what you do, and they're not concerned with who are you. So I think now is the time that you take this STEM field seriously, because everything else will be going to be automated, and all the other fields have a very high probability of risk of dying out for as a work market for human beings, because artificial intelligence can overpower that. But wherever you think that this kind of decision making, this kind of problem solving, this kind of opinion making can only be done by human, and I am the person who is highly interested in this field, go get skills for that. Today we have no excuse as females that we don't have access to knowledge, to education, or we don't have exposure to the world. Why? Because of the internet. If you are connected to internet, you have a smart device at your home, you have no excuse of putting all the burden to your gender. So I will try to motivate, and I will try to set example for all the females of my country, that start working, get online skills. If you cannot go to university, if you could not go to the college because of your economic status, because of your social boundings, if your family doesn't allow, or anything else, if you don't have time, if you are a mother, it doesn't matter, take out time for yourself, 1 hour, 2 hours, start building a skill, one skill, only one skill. In today's world, nobody wants jack of all arts. They want master in one. If you can do one subtask very efficiently, then they will hire you online, no matter where you are. So currently, I am seeing that market all across the world, but specifically European market, is shortage of skilled workers, has shortage of skilled workers. And also because of COVID, everybody is promoting remote skills because utility prices such as electricity bills have spiked up, hiked up, and therefore nobody wants to operate their offices because of the building electricity billings. So everybody is more than okay to hire somebody from the other part of the world. And I think now is the time for you to develop such a skill, defy the so-called stereotype that women don't belong to this field, and set some examples. It is unfortunate that we have influencers, mostly female influencers, which are always talking about beauty, about acting industry, or something which is related to arts and not STEM. But I would like you to start searching, because there are many great women which are not being given much attention from the world, but they are doing a lot of great stuff. If you could go to the portion of the slides where I have discussed about the Zaha Hadid. She was a very great architecture, a civil engineer. She died in 2016, but I put her work as example here because you could see this work right now in this world, and what better could influence you other than that? You check Zaha Hadid on internet and see how beautiful, artistic, at the same time scientifically resilient, and structurally complex designs she did for the entire globe. And she is an Iraqi woman who also has British dual nationality, and her major work or major success is working from United Arab Emirates. So if you could see all the indicators right now, people say that, okay, oppression is connected with gender, with the religion, Islam, and with the areas such as which are not politically or yeah, which are not politically stable. So I think she has all these three indicators. She was a woman, she came from Iraq, and which is a Muslim dominated country and which has a lot of political issues, and still she made it, and she made people to accept her work not only as work but artigrams. So people across the world really admire her, and still after her death there is a long debate that how she could create such sharp curves with technically resilient materials, how she designed those structures. And her structures are all across the world. For example, the stadium in which FIFA World Cup was played, it was designed by her. In UAE, many museums, many big buildings are designed by her. In China also, in Spain, in France. So throughout the world, she left her footprints. And now, even after she is dead, her work is speaking through the art and the science she created in the real world. So I think if she can do it, why can't we? If she can do it, why can't you? And take these people as an example. We also have Anfa Karim, Malala Yousafzai, the people, the girls of our nation, who prove that no matter, see, the socio-economic impact takes time to change. I cannot stand today and say that, okay, it is very easy for me to come from Pakistan and work here, and I never had any problem. I never had any social issue. Nobody ever discriminated me at work or at school. Everything happened, but I cannot take all those discriminations as a burden so that it can push me back. So we cannot change the society. We cannot change how they will look at the woman, but we can do our work. Let them see, and then they have to agree with us. So now is the time to fight. Now is not just the time to speak or resent over what is happening or why women are not being equally paid or equally employed in STEM. Now is the time to start working. Work, come into the field, show up into the workplaces. If we will be more female faces, more female bodies, more female feminine energy showing up on the STEM meeting tables, everything will change with time. But first, the step is to reach at that table. And I know this journey is difficult. I can still remember in my first class of bachelor's, the teacher who had a very great experience in work. He worked in Germany and he had a great command over engineering. He was a great engineer. And he asked in the first lecture, he said that I would like to be very honest and transparent in front of all of you. I don't think that the girls sitting in here belong here, and they will waste our nation's money. And therefore, I will make this class more difficult for the girls so that they decide to drop it. And in this way, in the first semester, those seats can again be filled by the those males who are on the waiting list and who could not make to this seat just because she is holding this seat for a while. And it really hurt me at that time, but I took it as a fuel. And I showed him that I'm the person who is best in his class, and he agreed on that after that semester. So if I started thinking that, okay, this teacher doesn't like me because of my gender, doesn't like my class fellows because of my gender, or is ready to give privilege, male privilege to the male counterparts, how I'm gonna get through this semester, I will be in constant loop of self insecurities, self criticism, and I will end up either leaving that class or maybe not performing good enough. But at that moment, I made a choice. I made a decision that from now on, I would like to be in all these kind of similar settings where I will always be surrounded by male dominated cultures with this kind of thinking. And I want to hear this sentence for the rest of my life until they all agree that I belong here. So this is my motivation. And now I rest my case to the audience. I would like all of you to work well in your field. If you're not in STEM, go in STEM. If you're not even fully working or your full-time academics is in any social media or any social sciences, try to connect it to this STEM, because this is how now the world is working. Even with the social sciences, there comes a lot of STEM related opportunities. Try to be the part of this change which you want to see in the world, which I want to see in the world for my future generations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Javeria Binte Fahim. You shed a detailed light on this issue. Definitely, this is one of the most vital issue we are facing as an human being in this world right now. As discrimination basis on the gender, discrimination basis on the based on the age, and for particularly between the men and the women, is the proved phenomena from the ages. And now situation although is changing, but it is a very vital problem in the developing countries like Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh is. And one question which I wanted to ask as an participant or as an the listener of this seminar is that you have the exposure both of Pakistani society as well as the European society. So do you feel that there is any difference between the level of discrimination, as we are the third world society and we are a developing society and that is a developed society? or you feel there is any difference, or there is a slight change in the form of discrimination, or there is no discrimination on the basis of sex or the gender over here? Please shed light over this.
Thank you for your question, and I really like your approach because you said that if there is a change in attitude towards discrimination. So my question is, yes, there is discrimination in both part of the world, no matter we are in the East or the West. But yes, the mode or the approach changes when you come to West. So when you come to East, people are not shy of telling it at your face that because of you are a female, we cannot employ you. And even I had a job interview in American originated, but they had a headquarter in Islamabad, and I went there for an interview after my bachelor's. And after the series of interviews, they said that we really like you, but the post which we currently have has a team which is all men, and we don't want to employ you because we think then the productivity of men will decrease. And it was very sorry, it was very sarcastic statement from me that I asked them how the productivity of males will increase by employing me, and then they laughed and he said that you better know. So in Pakistan and in Eastern culture, it is more blunt on your face, and they always make you feel that you are the cause. You are the cause. Do not belong here, basically. But here in the West, because of the series of gender-based movements and because they have such legal securities for women, and also in their culture, women are also in the working class, so they are kind of okay with this fact that women will work. So this is not a very big shock to share space workplace with the women. However, still in the engineering in the same field, still they question and they question themselves, and they question you that how you think you will bring value to the table, how you think we should employ you. And their basic concern here, which I already discussed in the seminar, is that if the company will invest in you, what is the security that you will not leave us because of your family in 2 to 3 years? So because here companies see their employees as investment, they specifically in the engineering field, because the fabric of science and technology is changing day by day so much that whenever you try to change job roles, they always give you some paid training for that, and therefore they are more reluctant to invest on the female candidate, just because they have insecurity that they will, and the female candidate will leave the job due to XYZ factors, which is mainly because she wants to raise a family, or maybe she has to move more frequently between the countries or between the cities because of her personal engagements or personal commitments. And as a man, and it is equally sarcastic because it is men who are frequently hopping through the jobs, and it is a clear survey, but it's still nobody asks them what are their 5 to 10 years personal plans. I have never met any of my colleagues who was asked that what is your personal plan. They were always asked what is your professional plan. And to me, in all of the interviews I appeared during the past 1 year, they always ask me this question: what is your personal plan, where you see yourself geographically, where you see yourself in your personal life? Are you willing to marry? If yes, is it happening in the near future? Are you willing to have children? If yes, how many? Because of another reason, because the maternity leave and the privileges they have to give to the European women or to the working women is very much, and therefore company see it as a liability, as an economic burden, that they will employ a female candidate. So therefore they're more reluctant. But specifically in the engineering field, the reluctance also comes to employ women in the commissioning or site operations work, and it is the same as in Pakistan. I cannot imagine myself working in field either in Pakistan or here, because equally the attitude of colleagues or attitude of workers or attitude of daily wage workers is very bad towards females, and it is very shocking for me to see the same kind of attitudes on the work site, because I don't know why whenever there is a machine and an engine or something is running on the electricity, I'm electrical engineer, male thinks that this is their field and they want to take control of it, and they cannot agree on looking a female manager, looking up to a female manager, or asking for even help or permissions. And I saw this in my career, because now currently I am thankfully I'm working as a manager, and still I see this in the attitude of people who are international, who have exposure to the world. So we cannot say that they are undereducated or they come from the background which is developing, but still they are reluctant to report to the women, to female manager. And I can see this in their behavior. I could see this in their in line between the lines communication. So yeah, this is on both of the sides of the world there is discrimination, but in Pakistan it is more blunt, it is more on face. And the sad part is that if you're being discriminated at work, when you come home with this problem, then you're the probability is that all your family members or loved ones or friends will say that, oh, you choose this field and we told you that this is male dominated and you chose it, so now you have to face it. So they don't empathize with you, because they think that you made a very wrong choice. You went out of the comfort zone, you went into this male dominated, and you chose to be disrespected because you are there. So I think this is the kind of a mentality we want to change, and we can only change it by creating numbers, by making the change in the numbers. If there are more female managers, more female engineers, more female mathematicians, then I think nobody will have more guts to then say it bluntly at face.
Thank you so much, Ms. Javeria Bint Fahim. Definitely, your conversation, you shed a great light in detail on this topic, and your experiences will be productive, particularly for the young woman working or studying in the country like Pakistan, which is a third world country, which is struggling to get over this stereotype thing. This will prove very helpful for those women. I once again thank you so much for your time and for your discussion. Next, I would like to welcome our second guest speaker, Dr. Mavish Noor. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. Just to hand over mic to you, I just want to give us a brief introduction of yours to our audience who is listening to us. Dr. Mavish Noor is currently working as an assistant professor of English at Muqabil College, Gujarat. She has an excellent academic career with distinctions, with gold medals. She is a reputed international researcher and has contributed to the fields of English linguistics. She has a number of publication and research papers presented not only on the national level, but also on the international level. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. Definitely, this is the issue which need to be talked. This is a taboo topic considered till now in our society, the women empowerment and the STEM education. These are the topics which need to be more talked or uske upar. I would like to call you. I would like to hand over my mic to you. Please shed light on this topic, Dr. Mavish Noor.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. Am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You are audible.
Okay. Could you give me access to share my screen with you?
Yes, please. Abdul Rahman, Dr. Sabah wanted to share screen, please. वो अपनी स्क्रीन शेयर करना चाहती हूँ, ये हटाते हैं। ओके चलिए तो करना। Yes, please. You can share your screen now.
Okay, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. I'm here to talk on the role of English language in women empowerment. So there was a very productive and insightful talk from Engineer Javedia, and you must have taken a view of a woman regarding women empowerment. It was her side of the
मेरा उनको अनम्यूट करो।
Am I audible to you people? Okay. Should I proceed? Am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible. Yes, ma'am, you are audible. Please proceed.
Okay, thank you. So there was a very insightful and productive talk you have already listened to, and that was about STEM education and women empowerment. I am here to shed light on the role of English language in women empowerment. So there is an outline of today's talk. I would like to move from general to specific. I would like to discuss literacy and education for women in general, and then I shall move towards women empowerment, and then we will have a discussion on language as a tool for maintaining power relations. And then I would like to discuss learning English leads to widening opportunities for women. The language that is English as a developmental catalyst for women empowerment. And then I will conclude my talk. So let's take a look of how education, it is said that education plays a key role in ensuring and reinforcing women empowerment, and it gives women to intellectual skills that are needed to respond to challenges, confront the traditional and societal role that has been imprinted on them, and grants them the power to visibility and acknowledgement. So education is the pivotal, the carrier and the barrier that plays an inevitable role to empower a person, whether he or she is women or men. So it generally plays a major role in enhancing intellectual skills and responding to challenges that are being faced during life, and with a logic and confidence, and it provides you an opportunity to be creative when you are dealing with your traditional and societal roles, and you can bring about certain kind of changes through the help of knowledge, education, and literacy, so that you can be visible to the world and your services can be acknowledged. So defining women empowerment is a difficult task. It is a complex idea and is always expanding. It is changing time to time. So it is not about gender equality or something like that. Women empowerment is the process of enhancing and in strengthening the social, economic, political, and legal power of women to ensure their rights and make them confident enough to claim their rights. So first of all, the phenomena that is being faced by women is to learn, is to get awareness of their social, economic, and political role and their legal rights that are already vested to them by their society, their constitution, and their religion as well. So when women acknowledge their strengths and are given the proper freedom, they are empowered. They are given the chance to develop a sense of self-worth and fulfillment. So to me, women empowerment is the sense of self-worth, self-value, self-respect, enjoying and embracing womanhood, and celebrating your femininity, and bring about the change you want to bring in the society and in your life. So it is what all about women empowerment. So it is the term women empowerment is most of the time confused with gender equality. It is not the same thing. They both are not the same things. Gender equality and women empowerment are totally different things. Gender equality does not imply that men and women should have an equal share of everything and can be treated the same. And they claim, but it is not possible. It is not physically possible that everything should be divided into equal parts and they have equal share each kind of treatment during their lives, at their workplace, at their homes. Instead, it refers to societal circumstances and interactions where a belief in reciprocity and cooperation molds interactions and allows both men and women to realize their full potential. It is all about the awareness of their potential capabilities, their potential, their capacities, their sense of self-respect, their sense of self-reliance. It is all about the sense of gender equality, that the women and men should be aware of their particular roles that they are to be playing throughout their life. So moving towards English language, in the supremacy of English language needs no introduction, because English language is has become a lingua franca. It is the language of knowledge and power. It is the language of technology, and it plays a pivotal role in developing any nation, any country, and any work sphere. So language in many situations dictates the power we have in relation to our with our colleagues, with our partners, and other people in our society. So for that, words have power. Language, when it comes to language and power and language imperialism, English has enjoying this imperialist status since colonialism. And the legacy is still taken in all the fields of life. Advanced English skills provide access to employment and education. Women are introduced to Western philosophical and sociological context and text, so that they can get awareness of English and Western society, the psychological makeup and their societal setup. They are introduced to them, they are exposed to them through learning English language and literature, and through these they experience an English speaking mindset. So language, the skill of advanced English language provides you with an experience of learning English speaking mindset and become a part of that imagined community. So you can see that language and education particularly can provide you with fame, power, and recognition. If you take the example of Malala Yousafzai, she got her fame through her pen name Gulmakai, and the medium was English language, of course, and he raised her voice, and it was heard throughout the world, and was celebrated and acknowledged, and she was nominated and then rewarded with the Nobel Prize. So just see how could you have access to the international communities around the world. So how learning English language leads to widening opportunities for women. If you look at this point, you can see that obtaining high level of education can provide women with better job opportunities, conceivably leading to financial independence and hence a sense of liberation. So if you are financially independent, you can run your family yourself, then you have a sense of liberation from the societal patriarchal societal setup and systems. So this is a form of women's empowerment which has the potential to gradually eliminate gender or subordination and male dominance, as well as bridge the gap between social roles of men and women. We are not talking about the to change or switch the social roles of men and women in a society. Rather than that, we need to bridge the gap between those two poles that are set apart just because of our social settings. So this is a gradual process. If women are empowered, they are the one who are going to raise the next generations. They can transmit that sense of liberation and sense of empowerment to their children, male children and female children as well, so that only then change can be brought about in our society system, our societal system. So we can, in that particular case, we can eliminate gender subordination and male dominance. And if both of the gender, male and women, play their roles not in collision with each other but in cooperation with each other, then we can look for an ideal society. So according to Richardson, the English language provides cultural capital which improves employability. Similar findings can be found from the studies supported by British Council, and that show that English language education can help the economy and society grow. That's what I'm talking about, that bringing about change in our society, we need to educate our girls, and we need to provide them English medium education or even language skills. We can equip them with language skills that are English language skills, so that we can provide them with access to employment and to self-resilience and to their self-independence. So English language can also be seen as a developmental catalyst for women empowerment. It is how, so let me tell you that opportunities for women to expand their understanding and appreciation of their employment and future, they are provided when few are learned. If the women have English language skills, the opportunities are open to them. They can have access to extended opportunities, not only in their immediate environment, rather than that their remote environment as well. And it may lead them to higher education opportunities abroad. They may have obtained the key to the gate of international society. So they have an access and they can raise their voice that can be heard around the world. Because English is intelligible to most of the parts of the world. Learning the English language increases one capacity to suppress bias, that personal bias and prejudices that are attached to women, and women are being faced to. So they can exercise self-empowerment, and they can use logic in decision-making processes. They can engage in rewarding choices. They can have, if they have equipped with advanced English language learning skills, they may find a number of opportunities to opt for. They can have a capacity and ability to take logical decision for going for going and opting for better choices for themselves, and be more sensitive while dealing with a spectrum of interactions. So they have the power to interact with people. They can communicate their thoughts and their ideas, their capabilities. So they have the access, they have the particular, they can use language as a tool to interact with people around the world. So let's take a look over the Wonder Women of Pakistan. They are called as Wonder Women of Pakistan. Yes, they are wonderful, and they are self-empowered so that they can they hold that particular position and that particular status. So through English language skills, women can have good health awareness. They have better opportunities to learn about nutrition food choices. They can have different access to different type of health remedies, and they can have search for different symptoms and the treatments, because in Pakistan we usually just follow the medicines prescribed by a doctor, and we are just on the disposable of testing laboratories and their results. So if they are capable of reading and comprehending English language, they may have access online to Google the prescription, the symptoms of the matchup between symptoms and the cure that is being prescribed by the doctor, or even say they may can help, they may can take help in emergency cases when they are deprived of going to doctors or hospitals or health facilities. So because women are facing health issues around the world, and they are victims of many serious health issues. So they can have an access to international community. There are free consultancies available on internet. So if they have an access to English to language as well as internet, they can go to help themselves as well as to their families. So English language can bring about social awareness to women, because if they are emotionally intelligent, so then they can become confident, and then they can face the challenges and all the issues that they are being facing, and then they can address those issues in a logical manner. If they are emotionally strong enough to face those challenges, they can have good sensible solutions address those issues. So because women are women fall a victim to societal social roles, inequalities, harassment, and violence, racism, and there are many issues that are being faced to that part of population that are just being given the status of female gender. So just being a female, as our first resource person was talking about, that just being female, they are to face a number of questions, a number of issues. So promoting women's sense of self-worth, their ability to determine their own choices, and their right to influence social change for themselves and others, that are all given through their social awareness, that they can get that social awareness through language skills, through education, and through knowledge. So English language proficiency can give voice to your values and goals as a member of imagined communities, and command of your thoughts to define you. So you are there to define yourself. You are there to occupy your own space. You can identify yourself as a part of imagined communities. Imagined communities in this artificial world, in virtual world, in the world of internet. You can claim your own identity, and you can occupy that particular space that according to your capabilities and your knowledge you actually deserve. So women empowerment is not only to empower a woman herself, but it is to empower women to empower others. So language is also a tool for empowering others. It can give you access to motivate others, to inspire others, to lead a team, to galvanize your team or your society, and you can bring about change through the influence that you can have through your words, through your linguistics and your communication skills particularly. So you can have the powers. So here is an example of Pakistani women in diplomacy. They are diplomats. They represent Pakistani societies. They represent our nation. They are the voice and face of Pakistan. So look how confident they look in this picture, and how you can say that they are the face of women empowerment. And if they inspire other people, if they can influence others, so it is empowerment in itself, in its true letter and spirit. So if a woman is equipped with English communication and advanced language skills, so she can have a strategy, can generate strategies to take her business to the next level. Because you can see that small industries in Pakistan, women are an active part of that, and through the e-commerce and e-rozgar, women are taking part in this field as well to empower themselves. So proficiency in the English language provides access to satellite programs that can benefit from other sources of information and news, and you can get knowledge about how to run your businesses and how to take your business to next level, how to bring about development and improvements in your business strategies. Better communication skill can better connect with your customers and clients. So use of social media is another way out for women, because they can have a voice there, they can have their presence there in a positive manner. One of the strongest tool in the business development strategy targeting the international community through social media is possible. You can mobilize and publicize your product and services, most likely that is made possible by social media tools. So you can get access to international workplaces as well, because outsourcing is a new normal. Work from home is a new normal nowadays. So you can have jobs, you can sell your services in staying in at home and in comfort zone, your comfort zone. And numerous social media platforms are also available that allow sellers to reach their potential customers, in particular in the crowd in general. And so you can launch your products on social media and get acknowledged, and you can have customership around the world, not only as products in the case of freelancing and your services as an employee. So the advanced language skills, and particularly English language skills, can take you can give you access to current technology, modern trends, whatever the field you are in, because there are already tutorials are available in English language, and there are manuals that can use to use your devices smartly. And whenever a new technology is launched, its manuals, its tutorials are also launched in English language, so you can have access to learning from those tools. And not only that, but also you can have you can have access to get enrolled in MOOCs and online courses that are free of charge. There are many courses that are free of charge in on Coursera, and there are other websites they offer, and international universities they also offer free to enroll subjects and courses. So if you are equipped with technology and you have the language skills as well, so it is a cherry on the cake. So you can have access to any kind of knowledge, any kind of field of knowledge you are interested in. So you can look for changing of market activities with the help of technology and English language skills, because small businesses are opening new outlets on the online platforms and offline detail to compare and analyze their impact on the business, to see what works for the business, what doesn't work, what will expand and flourish the business. One has to match and mismatch various marketing strategies continuously. And believe me, like English language skills is savior. You can get through online courses to upgrade your knowledge and to take your business to a next level. So if you take a look on this image, most influential Pakistani women on LinkedIn. So it is another platform through which you can link yourself to the field of interest or community of practices that is related to your particular field, and you are acknowledged there. And there are job opportunities that are offered to people who are there on LinkedIn. Just you are to make your profile and put your skills there and sell yourself there. So English language can provide you with better opportunities to hunt for jobs internationally as well. So I conclude my discussion with Norton words that Norton views language learning as an investment and argues that learners expect or hope to have good return on that investment, a return that will give them access to hitherto unattainable resources. They can expand the possibilities for their future by knowing that if the situation arises, they are ready to access wider opportunities. So girls, get ready to indulge in whatever the field you are in, you have interest in, and just jump into the world of knowledge and learning with the help of English language. If you are not equipped with the particular language, and I am also addressing my male listeners as well, do equip your women, your loved ones, with English language skills and English medium schools. Through English medium schools, because through this particular language platform, they can have access to offer their services to international community. They can help you in your lives, in your economical, political, and your emotional spheres of life. So do take an active part to bring about a change in order to discriminate this discrimination. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, Dr. Mahwish Saiba, to be the part of this international webinar on the women empowerment and the role of English language in this system. Definitely, your discussion and your lecture will be helpful for not only for the female students or the female who are planning to work in the practical field, but also for the male, just to change their ego or their perspective of thinking. So I am very grateful to you that you spare time on for this seminar and for this department. Institute of Humanities and Arts is grateful for you. And I am I want to mention some important thing that we have very some very important gems as women working in Pakistani society, like you, like our director of the Institute of Humanities and Arts, Dr. Sumina Sarwat. We are lucky that she is our director and she's managing things more better than anyone else could be. So thank you so much. Just before end this conversation or end this international webinar, I would like to call Mr. Muhammad Fahad Malik, my colleague from Law Department of Khawaja Farid University of Engineering and Information Technology, just to end this seminar, this webinar formally. Mr. Fahad Malik, mic is handed over to you. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. First of all, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak in this seminar on behalf of our university department and our club, which has beautifully organized this seminar or webinar. And then I would like to pay the gratitude or thanks to my worthy respected guests who have given their precious time for this webinar and such an informative things that she have shared with us. So both the topic dimensions, they were actually very tempting for the young generation, especially the women, and also for the young males as well. So the first resource person, Ms. Engineer Juwaria bint Fahim, she was a true, you can say, the example for the young people, that she is, alhamdulillah, working in a foreign institute on a very respectable position. So if a woman like her can do this, so any girl of Pakistan can do this also. And this STEM education, she threw the light upon that. It was really impressive. And thank you so much again for joining us. And then Dr. Mahvishnu, I am very grateful to you for having your precious time and sharing your knowledge with us. Women empowerment is also a very heart-burning issue in Pakistan as well, not only in the society. And the way, like, we had two kind of perspectives in our today's seminar, like the Western perspective and the Pakistani perspective as well. So the comparative opinion and the information, it was, I think, very helpful for the listeners, and definitely they would have been benefited by the seminar of today. So once again, I would like to appreciate all the participants who have participated in this seminar and listened all the information. And so for on behalf of our Director, Institute of Humanities and Arts, Dr. Samina Sarwat, and behalf of my university, my department, I would like to formally end up this seminar for today's topic. Thank you so much for joining us. And once again, thank you so much all for having your day and having a good time with us. Have a good day. Have a good life. Thank you so much. Stay healthy.
Thank you.
Good day. Thank you so much.
Early now.